The recent OpTic Dynasty podcast was chock full of a lot of great talking points. You guys should go check out the full thing because it was incredible to see Karma and Crimsix and Formal and Scump all sit back down for the first time in a long time. Well, they brought up some interesting things about current day Call of Duty. One of the more important parts that I thought throughout watching this whole hour and a half was, well, it's actually Formal and Scump and Crimsix sprinkling in here too, how franchising has ruined competitive Call of Duty. What do you guys think?
It goes on. What are your thoughts on it now?
I think it.
I mean, from the outside looking in,
you might need to cut the podcast for that.
I mean, like, I have no affiliation with CoD anymore. Like, I mean,
yeah,
I think it's
like.
Me and Matt can talk about this.
Am I allowed to say anything?
I think it's somewhat ruined COD.
Yeah, I think it ruined
COD.
COD. I think COD events with the open bracket and like the MLG style events is what made COD so special. Like going to like even the champs like in franchising. I mean, I only went to I went to 2, but like
Champs doesn't even feel like Champs
It did not
anymore.
feel like Champs, bro.
Yeah.
Like the first one was online, whatever. But then the second one, the Cold War one, like granted, like we didn't practice that hard for it, so maybe that was why. And like they had COVID, or whatever, so it was like whatever. But like just the venue itself just like did not feel like a Champs. It just didn't feel as like I don't want to be cringe, but like magical. You know, it didn't feel like that aura of like a Champs. Like,
no.
It was just
Even
another
still.
event. It felt like the fucking Atlanta home series we went to the previous year. You know.
I mean, you go
like-
there and you scrim. You go on stage. It's like there's no pool play. If you go out, I just don't like COD now because
Now you have to be hot, like
You have to-
in the moment, like right away.
Yeah, if you-
you're not
once
hot,
a day, bro. How is that fun?
yeah, if you're not like a team that gets going like fast, then you're just gonna lose. Even if you're good, if you can't like get up there and instantly start playing good, then you're fucked.
There's
like
no
this-
like, cool story. There's not even like the losers bracket runs that you see now. They're like so slow and they're not like. It doesn't feel like you're like really getting on the losers bracket train.
You're
like,
playing 2 matches
this
a day,
year-
Yeah,
like
it's like I think they've started losers run. I don't know.
This year was my first champ since BO4 that I've been to. It was like, it just felt like every other event that I've watched. I don't know.
It's not. The
It
same
all
way.
changed when like, I don't know, bro. I think the first year they brought in some NFL person. I feel like that's the problem with like esports. Like the ones where they try making it like esports, like a sport with their format.
And they also reference back to the MLG days. Back in the day, it was a bit different. I cannot speak to that. I've been to a lot of esports events in the past 2 to 3 years. I wasn't around during the MLG days, so I can't tell you guys what an event back then was like in Call of Duty. I can tell you what events have been like in current day Call of Duty. And I'll be honest, I would agree when it comes to COD Champs. I didn't go to this past one. I went to the one previous to that, and I expected a bit more out of a Call of Duty space when it comes to a world championship. From all the stories of what it used to be, I would have to imagine that some of the old COD heads would have similar feelings that Scump and Formal do, that it's not the same vibe. It's just not the same atmosphere whatsoever. Ever since those MLG days, maybe a lot of esports have tailored off a bit from those grassroots that we once had. It is also a very expensive venture to go after, right? Even just to seat 3,000 to 5,000 people and put on a production for a weekend, it's not a cheap or easy thing to do. Not taking away from it, COD Champs was still incredible, but they make it seem like it was a whole different world.
It just like ruins
At
it.
the end of the day,
But
the whole franchising shit, all this stuff, right? Everything in the last 3 years.
yeah,
It's all decisions are being made by people who don't understand the audience.
yeah.
They think they can just copy shit from other things, but at the end of the day, like
It already had a
they
formula that worked for years.
Yeah, they don't like. Yeah, exactly, and they think they can improve it because they have no knowledge on who they're like making the product for.
well now
they're
it's
just like successful people.
Yeah,
they just
yeah,
think,
exactly.
Like, we can be successful. Like we can turn this cool. But like I just went to an event and it's like, dude, like esports engine is like the old MLG guys. So like the MLG, it feels like an MLG. Like you were there. It looks like an MLG event. Like there's a main stage, there's a bunch of feature stations, and then there's like a back area where the pro players are all together. There's fucking 4 stations, and if you're not there first, you don't get to play. You know, it's like that kind of feel. It's like an MLG event, and like that's what like Halo COD like should feel like, in my opinion. But I mean, who the fuck cares what I think about it? Like, it's like those events are just special to players. You know, like dude, none of those home series, none of those fucking like Cold War lands like felt like magical or like an MLG event. You know, where you're just like in the trenches. with your
Well,
teammates
yeah,
and
it's
shit.
like, dude, now at the CDL events, it's like you have a backstage area. You sit in a white room.
Yeah,
You'll be lucky if you get a room. Usually, it's one room split 3 teams. You know, with black tarps.
That's
Like,
what Champs was.
You don't see the fans.
Champs
you
is
don't see
like-
the venue. Nothing.
It was kind of crazy. Like, I think Toronto, everyone had their own room. I don't know how it was when you played.
At what?
Toronto, the
Oh,
event
the
before.
Toronto one was depressing.
Everyone had
as
their own
fuck,
room, but
Well,
dude.
then-
Toronto, you're in locker rooms, so
Yeah.
you smell like the players' fucking crusty balls the whole time. Yeah,
Then Champs, it was like us, a curtain.
it's like
and
a
then
lingering ball
FaZe.
smell.
And even after that, Scump talking about how CDL, not just because of franchising potentially ruining competitive Call of Duty and what it used to be, also talking about the switch that is expected to be made from Twitch back to YouTube. I won't play you guys the clip, but Scump goes on to talk about this move and, well, how it sucks. And he will be streaming, though. By the way he sounds of it, he's still going to be doing a watch party on YouTube. I'm not sure how that's going to work with his Twitch the way it is. I know that currently when it comes to simulcasting and multi-streaming, if you get written permission, you can do so, but usually you have to terminate your Twitch partnership agreement, which would mean all of those subs and all of that, that revenue he brings with watch parties through Twitch would no longer be a thing if you were to watch party on YouTube with CDL. Maybe they give him some super special access or some super special, permission. I don't know how that stuff works, but Scump will be watch partying, so that's at least something to hang on to. And they also talk about the viewership records they were setting on a pretty lackluster Call of Duty title. And with this year, we're coming back to MW2 maps in MW3. It was really set up for something special. But I agree with the whole fact that it is closed off the circuit. Me and Hunter were literally talking about this the other day. A closed Call of Duty circuit, it just doesn't have the same feeling as I felt watching Call of Duty even just 5 years back. It's not the same. And I am really curious if you guys have not been keeping up on esports. It seems the Overwatch League is all but well and done. Teams being offered around $6 million to pack it up and not continue with that. So it seems like the end of the Overwatch League is coming sometime soon. People wondering, okay, is this maybe the last few years of CDL? But they're still going, as they maybe have re-signed to YouTube, so maybe there's still some money left in the tank and some oil left, to keep on going. And who knows how long. But man, I would love to see us back to grassroots esports. All other franchises, I shouldn't say all, a lot of them are opening up their circuits. We still have Valorant franchising, which I'm not a huge fan of. We have Overwatch League failing, and we have CSGO. They're opening up the circuits. They're going to say no more partnered teams, no more Blast, no more ESL teams. We're opening up the circuit so everyone has a fair chance to qualify, and I love that. And I would love to see that for Call of Duty. Like, imagine a team of Warzone players taking on Call of Duty guys and climbing through the ranks or the open circuit, even making a round of 64, round of 32, just even being in contention. The storyline possibilities outside of franchising, to me, seem greater than those within. But obviously, there's a lot of other things to talk about if you're going to drop franchising, right? And what salaries would be, what organizations would be in Call of Duty. A lot more coming for Call of Duty in the future. But Scump and Formal agree that franchising kind of ruined Call of Duty. What do you guys think? Till next time, drink up. All right, take care. We'll see you back here soon.